that I've lived anywhere else. But I remember the first, there's paintings down this wall here of Laoghaire village. I remember the first time I came into Laoghaire village, and I only came in out of curiosity to look at a house which I couldn't afford. But I became so determined that I couldn't live anywhere else after seeing that street and Laoghaire Castle and the town hall and all of that. Just that thoroughfare up there, really, I just fell in love with it immediately and wanted to stay. And from then on, I've been really, I suppose, astonished every day that I live here. Because with all due respect to where I come from, Roscommon, it's a wonderful place in many ways, but it doesn't have any mountains and it doesn't have any sea. And here I kind of have both. I have the sea behind me, and I have the other side of me, Laoghaire Quarry, that picture there. It's exactly the view from across my front door. In fact, it's very interesting painting that, because if you look at it, you'll see that there appears to be a lake in Laoghaire Quarry, and you know, you probably think, what's that? And there's a bit of a story. It's kind of almost like I would regard that as quite a political painting. You know, it's kind of, I see it as a kind of a very emphatic attack on Dunleary Rathdown County Council. This depicts one of the greatest acts of vandalism in this country in the last 50 years, I would say. What happened here was that the quarry, which 12 years ago the council, they wanted to turn it into a halting site. And we pointed out to them that when it rains, a film of water gathered all over the quarry. And they said, oh, you're a racist, so. I said, no, just that when it rains, a film of water forms over the quarry. So anyway, we talked them out of that by some means. But then they put a road around the quarry for reasons best known to themselves, which functioned as a French drain, which deposited all the water out onto the road into a kind of a constant river on the road. So they looked at each other after that, and then they decided, we'll get a bulldozer and a digger, and we'll dig holes all over the quarry. And that's what you see there in that painting. It looks like a lake, but it's actually a man-made hole built by the worst local authority in the free world. Anyway, enough of politics. These paintings for me, they're as I say, there's 20 years, for me personally, I'm sure for each one of you too as you walk around them, there's 25 years for me of just looking at that building there. When I climb up the quarry, up the top of the quarry, from my house I can see right across the harbour. You can see the two piers, which always seem to me like as two arms, like an embrace, reaching out to hug somebody. The town of Dunleary, I stress, not the council. They would be more likely to clamp you or so you know, it's for me. These paintings really. I'm so moved by them. I'm so kind of drawn to them because they're like, it's like a walk through my own life the last 25 years. Not just a walk through the south side, but a walk through my own life. So I hadn't met Tony before. He contacted me a few months ago and asked me would I open the exhibition. I saw the paintings and I was immediately struck by this aspect of them, that they were really kind of representations of my own affection for this place and these places, these towns and villages that we all know so well. So I'm delighted therefore to be here and to open this exhibition, and I wish Tony the best with it, and I hope you enjoy the paintings and that you buy them all up.
Could I now introduce you to the artist himself? Tony became a full-time artist in 2000 when he left the civil service and decided to follow his dream and take up painting. In the 11 years since, he first, I suppose, came to prominence in 2002 through the RTE Open House afternoon art competition when he was a finalist, and that led to his first solo exhibition in the Gerald Davis Gallery on Capel Street. Since then, he's represented Ireland at the Florence Biennale. He has exhibited at the European Parliament. He's been selected for the Curators Award at EV&A, and for those of you who know EV&A, it's desperately impressive. It is the contemporary arts exhibition in Ireland. He received the Bank of Ireland Emerging Artist Award, although I was the only person I think in the room who told him that he must be one of the oldest emerging artists in Ireland. He is in the Bank of Ireland collection. They haven't sold his work yet. I believe they're keeping all the really good stuff to the end. This is his 11th solo exhibition. His sunny disposition, I think, is reflected in the fact that he's now known for his trademark blue skies, which seem to appear everywhere. So would you welcome, please, the artist, Tony Gunnings.
I promise you, not one word of that was written by me. And I didn't pay a penny. But after 33 years of marriage, it's nice to hear something nice. I don't really do speeches, to be honest with you. I don't do enough about talking, but I'd just like to say a few thank yous before I forget. First and foremost, I'd like to thank John Waters. He did me a great honour of opening the exhibition. Not only did he open the exhibition, but he had the thoughtfulness to come down to my place and have a look preview of the exhibition, which goes above and beyond the call as far as I'm concerned. So I'd like to thank him very much for that. I've always been an admirer of John's work going back 30 years, when he was about 10 years of age, I think, when you were starting writing first the hot press. And I always remember the famous piece with Charlie Haughey. I think you were the interviewer with Charlie Haughey. Loads of expletives, not deleted. It was an absolute watershed in journalism as far as I was concerned. And then, when he went into the Irish Times, touted as the next John Healy, which we knew, of course, he was never going to be John Healy, but he did bring out a book at the time which really had a major impact on me, which was the Johnston, or Dreadnought Crossroads, which really captured the culture of rural Ireland at the time, 60s and 70s, and it made a major impact on me. And I've always enjoyed your writing since. John's an author of great conviction. I think that's very important to me, conviction, and always being like a dog with the bone, never let go. I won't just harp on this, but as a token of my appreciation, I just like to make a small presentation with you. You're adopted hotel. Now about the exhibition itself, I call this a walk on the south side. A little bit controversial, but it's straightforward enough. I mean, all of the places you see here are within 5 miles radius of where I work, which is in Deal's Grange. Not that I walk there. I wouldn't walk 5 miles in a fit. I mean, I'd be laid up for a week. My idea of a walk is maybe 3 miles, maybe an hour. My favourite walk would be starting here, just at the car park, across by the 40-foot and round by the Martello Tower, down into Bullock Harbour, up to Harbour Road, around Sorrento Terrace, Sorrento Road, back into Stockton Village, John's Road, back down to Glastool and back here. About an hour. And it's a serene walk, it's fantastic. For anybody who hasn't done it, do it. I mean, I've walked south of France every single inch of it, and I've never seen a nice one. But I'm not really going to go on about the paintings, really. I just wanted one little story. I got a phone call from a guy who had written a book called A Walk on the South Side. Just after the exhibition down, I got into his hands, and he rang me. He wrote to me, wanting to know why he'd stolen his title. So I rang him, and as it turned out, where I got the idea of this exhibition, the title for the exhibition was from an old Lou Reed song, A Walk on the Wild Side. You certainly couldn't describe the south side as wild, but I just thought it felt good. But I rang the author anyway, and he said, funny enough, he said, I got the idea. He says, now before you tell me where you come up with the idea, you must have taken off my book, but where I got the idea for the exhibition, I was walking along Sandycote one day, and this song came into my head. Lou Reed, Walk on the Wild Side, I thought, I just changed the name Wild. Now that's a coincidence, that's a real coincidence. But he turned out to be a nice guy, and he's given me some complimentary copies of the book to give out. As happens, there's not one for everyone in the audience here. There's too many people. So what I'll do is I'll give one to my favourite people, which is the people who put the red spots on the painting. And if we let a few of that go, we'll figure out something. So let's thank you all for attending tonight. It's been a great evening so far. I've nearly forgotten to thank my MC, who is a wonderful MC. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that introduction. I'm not forgetting Colette and Keith, who run a fantastic establishment here. If you're ever looking for a restaurant in this area, come here. Fantastic food, great prices. always a friendly welcome. Thank you, Cadet. And thank you all for coming. I enjoyed it.
Probably not.